Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and it looks like we've had a pretty good market the last, say, 48 hours. We've got Bitcoin over 50,000, Ethereum over 4,000. We got XRP around 92 cents, and what's the other one I like to look at? Algorand's at $1.63, and then you've got, I lost it here. Where'd it go? Stellar is the one I always like to look at. It's further down than it should be, that's for sure. 29 cents. Okay, moving on. ProCoinNews.com put this out. These 5 crypto assets heading to the moon in 2022. What 5 are they? Solana, Dogecoin, XRP, Shiba Inu, and Cardano. Just so you know, there's only 3 of these that I would get anywhere near myself. I'm not telling you what to do. Solana, I believe, is going to be a big deal. Of course, XRP and Cardano. I don't invest in digital assets that are just for speculation, and that's the way I see those. But that doesn't mean you can't make money on them. It's just not what I do. Crypto Bull put this out, I think, in Q1 of 2022 for XRP will bring $15. Now, I see this, and I don't know anything about what he's looking at in terms of the charts, but I will tell you this. If there is a resolution to the SEC case with XRP clarity, that's positive clarity moving forward, game on. It could be 15, it could be more than that. So great. I hope he's right. MVDB. Now, I don't know this guy, Michelle Vandenberg. I guess he just shortened his name. Okay. All right. He sent me this. This is from Jungle Inc. And they're talking about what they think hedge funds. This is on Yahoo Finance. They're talking about, let me see if I can get to this is the part where she brings her in. She starts talking about what they're expecting for 2022.
That's right, Emily. So we're certainly seeing a lot more institutional involvement in crypto, and big money managers are likely to increase their participation in 2022 as the market continues to grow. Now, there have been a number of these periodic studies over the past year that have really underscored crypto's institutional momentum. And most recently, the survey from EY found that 1 in 3 hedge funds plan to invest in crypto in the next 1 to 2 years. And that number is 13% among private equity firms looking to gain crypto exposures. And experts from EY actually told me that number could be even higher right now compared to when responses were collected about 6 months ago, as managers really try to figure out ways to incorporate these types of strategies into their investment portfolios. Now, EY and other industry experts have emphasized that one of the biggest reasons for this uptick among institutional investors in crypto investments is the emergence of digital asset custody solutions, which are systems that help store and safeguard crypto assets like with traditional financial products. So a lot more security here that is making Wall Street comfortable with investing in crypto. So while crypto's massive growth, reaching a $3 trillion market is certainly a reason for the wealth management sector's attention on the space, it's really the emergence of more of these custodians that are making them more comfortable with these types of investments. So a lot more third-party involvement, to help protect these assets and weigh investment risks.
Okay, I just wanted to play you that part, but the bottom line is, and this is something we've been talking about for a long time, what you have is you're about to start seeing the Goldman Sachs, the JP Morgans, and all these guys opening up their custody for digital assets. That's when the game's really going to be on. And I think a lot of people are seeing this in 2022 coming. Okay, now moving along, I wanted to point this out. This is from John Deaton. We covered this a little bit, but he's re-emphasizing the point, and I want to as well. What he said, read this letter. He wants you to. This is the Joseph Grundfest letter. Remember, Joseph Grundfest, a very well-respected ex-SEC commissioner, sent Jay Clayton a letter back once he found out that the SEC was going to sue Ripple, and he sent Jay Clayton a letter and he said, don't do this. Here's all the ways it's going to hurt XRP holders and be bad otherwise. And one of the things that is interesting is after, and John Deaton points it out here, never in the SEC's history was there a similar max exodus of senior officials after filing a case of this magnitude. And so he's making the point, all the people that were involved in wanting this Ripple lawsuit, they all left so that they didn't have any accountability. Well, guess what? Social media is holding them accountable. Question is, will Congress? But we're not giving up. We're going to keep bothering them, and we're going to keep exposing this thing until we either get a level playing field or these people have to answer for what they did. And I'm not done yet. All right, here you go. This is from Stefan Huber. Listen to this. Joseph Lubin, founder of Ethereum and Consensus.
It actually is. So what you've described is tremendous amount of activity, and it didn't even finish. I'm sure it didn't start. When people see a company grow from 100 people to over 1,000 people in 3 years, doing that much activity, even in blockchain, that's kind of an unusual phenomenon, that kind of rapid growth. And I was wondering, what might you be able to share with us about kind of the economics of Consensus? I'll throw out some ideas, like, does it generate revenue? Are you taking an Amazonian Jeff Bezos approach to reinvesting in growth? Does Consensus hold assets in crypto or fiat or equity, or how does it work?
Yes, and yes. So yeah, we have a bunch of business lines that do generate revenue. The solutions group is we have lots of regional offices around the world, so it's a federated model where each regional group has a lot of autonomy, but they also get on calls several times a week and work together on lots of different projects, and trying to take that approach in a few of our different business lines. Yes, we hold tokens. So our accounting system has taken tokens. Our token launch project, Token Foundry, which also sits in that fourth prong, capital markets, and helps to launch projects either with consumer utility tokens or investment.
I want you to, this is so absurd. I want you to still realize, in the middle of all the talk you're hearing about how the industry needs regulatory clarity, this guy, and only this guy, through his firm, you're only allowed, because due to the SEC and what they did with the Hinman speech, to this day, the only people issuing digital assets, issuing tokens that are allowed to do it, and it's called legal, is these guys on the Ethereum network. That was the design of the Hinman speech. That is what the SEC met with all these guys for. That's what they planned, and I'm going to show you further. He says it in video. I'm going to go on to the next thing, okay? Now this is SEC. She was one of the ones that helped plan it. Valerie Chapinick admits SEC provided speeches as guidance. The Hinman speech was guidance for the whole market. That's how they planned it.
Put in a plain English way how one might go through an analysis to determine if whatever you're doing is offering and selling securities. So we've been working hard on that guidance, and hopefully we can be at a point where we feel comfortable giving that out. I do think out of all our tools, rulemaking is very cumbersome, and it's also not as kind of flexible as some of the other tools that you mentioned. So we do put out things like speeches and statements by the various divisions and offices that can address certain things.
Right. They did it intentionally, and then they tried to pretend like it wasn't official. They're talking out of two sides of their mouth. This is not how you want a U.S. regulatory agency to behave, not in the United States. Now, I want to play you two guys that I don't think really see what we see. Now, these are good guys, but I want you to listen to them. The first guy, this is the founder of Hedera Hashgraph. Listen to what he says.
Asking you to predict the outcome because, of course, my guess, anyone's guess is as good as anyone else's guess. But what do you think the consequences for the wider industry will be, whether Ripple are found guilty or not guilty or whatever? I don't know if there's the right terminology, but
so of course for Ripple, I honestly can't guess. Who knows?
No, yeah.
And we'll watch and we'll deal with it. The industry as a whole is, of course, suffering from lack of clarity. I think we'll have clarity.
Not Ethereum. Ethereum's not suffering from any lack of clarity. They're proclaimed, because Bill Hinman said so, and they all planned it in a back room, they're proclaimed to be more decentralized than than everybody else, even though Hedera Hashgraph is not working on Hedera 2.0. XRP, Ripple, and none of these guys, none of them are working on 2.0 in teams, like Joseph Lubin has said. But we're supposed to believe this absurdity that somehow Ethereum is decentralized and all these others are not. They've got a finished product. Ethereum does not. But they're more decentralized. It's absurd on its face, and everybody knows it. But listen to what he says.
I think we are going to get clarity over the next few years.
Yes.
We'll get clarity from regulators, and we'll get clarity from legislators. I think that Congress wants to give some clarity.
Yes.
And I think we're going to see that. And what I have heard over and over again, both from the regulators and from the government, the legislators, is that we do not want to destroy this industry. We do not want to impede this industry. No. This industry can change the world in a good way.
Absolutely.
We want to protect people from excesses and abuses in this industry,
yes,
but we don't want to kill the golden goose.
No.
And that's the right attitude.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I don't know if everything they do will be the right thing. They do wrong things, but their goal appears to be the right thing, which is, can we build up a true industry for DLTs that will change the world in a way that helps our constituent?
I don't believe that Gary Gensler and all these bad guys that he's friends with, these Wall Street people, I don't believe they ever planned or thought that they could hold all this industry back for long. I do believe that what this Ethereum thing really is about is holding them off for long enough so that Ethereum has a tremendous market share. That's one thing I've heard Joseph Lubin say over and over and over is, oh, it would be so hard for them to catch us. I believe that was the whole design of it. This is called regulatory capture. This is getting with Ethereum players behind closed doors to hold, and you design a situation where you hold off the rest of the industry. Then you sue Ripple to hold them off even more. You get Ethereum 2.0 out, and by the time everybody has their regulatory clarity that they're screaming for, you've given a crazy advantage that Ethereum did not deserve because of this regulatory capture. That is what they tried to do. That is what they're in the process of doing. And I can see it. I'm in the matrix, folks. I can see it clear as day because, you know why? I've spent over 3 years making video after video in this space. And then I spent the last year doing nothing but watching video of all these people involved in this Ethereum free pass. And I'm in the zone. I can see it. I can see around corners what these people did. More than anybody, just about. Not anybody, but I can see it. It's plain as the nose on your face. I can see what they're in the process of trying to do. And then this is Christian Carlo, and I think he's being generous too.
Well, the phrase I would use is actually regressive. You know, we've got a new innovation that has brought more people into the financial markets with a great deal of enthusiasm and excitement. More so than Wall Street has seen in generations. And yet the SEC's approach to investor protection is basically to limit market access for the most those innovations with the greatest potential, to limit access to accredited investors, basically wealthy or sophisticated people. I think the math is about 13 million out of 300 million Americans qualify as accredited investors. I mean, that's a tiny sliver, a tiny slice of the American populace that the SEC will allow to access some of the most exciting innovations. I mean, that
what he's saying there makes me think he might know something, and that is a scenario. There is a scenario where the SEC says that all XRP today and going forward is only for accredited investors, and you have to wonder if he knows something about what their plans are. Now, so let's look. Remember, this is Andrew Keys. This is the same guy. This is the guy that used to be with Consensus. He's now retired in style in Puerto Rico. This guy is the one that this is the guy that told Charlie Gasparino back in 2018, May 10th, 2018, Gasparino does the video for Fox Business, and he says that he was told by Andrew Keys that the SEC sanctioned the Brooklyn project, and the Brooklyn project was Consensus's project, which was for the purpose of, they were working on getting this free pass. They were working behind the scenes while everybody else was getting roadblocks from the SEC. They were working behind the scenes. They've never been forced to answer questions about this, by the way. Well, here he says it again. Let me hit the play button on this.
Infrastructure arm where we build software infrastructure for institutions to be able to participate in this market. And then lastly, we have an entity called Token Foundry, which I believe to be the next generation of investment banking or equity crowdfunding.
Token Foundry, let's call it what it is, Token Factory. That is one of the most important things they got out of their Ethereum free pass, is that from then on, they would be the only people that are allowed to issue digital tokens and call them non-securities. That was the whole point.
And lastly, we have what we've called Project Brooklyn, which is a multi-stakeholder environment, open source working group that includes the SEC, the European Central Banks, to work on consumer protections and best practices.
So for some reason, Ethereum gets, the guys involved in Ethereum, they get this special access to the SEC while they're telling everybody else, like Ripple, oh, we can't, no, we can't do anything for you. To this day, which is even crazier. Now, let's move along. You think what I just showed you is bad? In this clip right here, Joseph Lubin lays out for you what the whole plan was. This is the reason they did it. Is they knew that once they did the Hinman speech was done, that from then on everybody else would be in this regulatory purgatory where they wouldn't have any answers. And while that was going on, Ethereum would be allowed to build a lead and get more and more of a monopoly on this industry. That is what they did. That's what they're doing right now. While they continue to let the guys with Ethereum get 2.0 out, that's what's being done. And they knew that all of the other participants would be at an extreme disadvantage. But you don't have to take my word for it. Listen to this.
Ethereum's early advantage is apparent in so many ways. One is a regulatory advantage in that Ethereum and Bitcoin arrived on the scene before regulators were watching, and so via different mechanisms, we were able to distribute our tokens broadly and equitably, which is critically important for the success of decentralized protocols like this. If you're a great team right now with a great technology, you need, and you have designs on being a layer one protocol, you really need massive decentralization to claim that you're a layer one protocol, to claim that you're a new trust foundation. Otherwise, you're kind of a pretty small platform and potentially corruptible. And so we were fortunate enough to be able to frame our token as a utility token and get the excitement of the community of developers, entrepreneurs, users. A project right now, even if it's excellent, needs to incentivize its community to be excited about the token. And usually the way to do that is to say, hey, this token is going to appreciate by the agency of this group over here. By definition, that's a security. This is Matteo Leibowitz's distribution quadrilemma. It's not my construct. And so regulators are watching. So pretty much all the tokens need to be either introduced into the world in a convoluted fashion or are really just going to be seen as securities so that they can't be distributed broadly and equitably. They are being called VC coins. Oh, sorry, Jamie, or professor coins, and
or worse names than that as well.
Yeah, or worse names than that. And we've seen that some good projects, really good teams, have struggled to really establish themselves as sizable projects. So
now, I want you to think about what has been done by the SEC to crypto. So So they send Bill Hinman out, and they position it so that they can later throw their hands in there and say, oh, well, that was his personal opinion. But they know that it gave guidance to the market because there's article after article. It was on CNBC. They knew that it provided guidance, but they positioned it intentionally so they could throw their hands up and say, oh, that was just his personal opinion. Meanwhile, they knew that, oh, nobody has clarity, but come in and see us. And they keep saying this to this day, come in and see us and talk to us, and we'll talk about it. Knowing that if you come in, then they've got you, then they find out, get all your paperwork, find out what you're up to. Now they can sue you. So think about what's been done. You get a Hinman speech, it gives Bitcoin and Ethereum the free pass, proclaims them. They don't tell you how, why, by what measure they're decentralized and everything else isn't. But they tell you, oh, these are decentralized because Hinman said so, and therefore they can do whatever they want, and they can issue tokens off of Ethereum from now on. But we're not going to tell anybody else whether they're securities or not. And if you want to find out, come talk to us. But if you talk to us, now we're just going to get information on you and sue you, or give you no information at all. If you're lucky, we won't sue you. And then, to make matters worse, then they get Jay Clayton to file a lawsuit, and and his buddies Hinman and the other guy, I'm drawing a blank on his name, they were both for the lawsuit, drop the lawsuit, and then walk out the door so that nobody can be held accountable. Now, if that's not regulatory capture, what I just described, then I don't know what is, and they may as well just burn the definition. Regulatory capture is a form of corruption of authority that occurs when a political entity, policymaker, or regulator is co-opted to serve the commercial, ideological, or political interests of a minor constituency. Think Ethereum. Ethereum free pass at the expense of the rest of the crypto industry, folks. It's right there. It's laid out in this video. It's right there for you. Now, here's the irony of all this, is what Matt Hamilton tweeted today. You know what the irony of all this? Joseph Lubin's, it makes me mad just listening to his voice now. He's been running his mouth for years now, acting like Ethereum has all of these things that nothing else has. And it's just a lie. It's not true. The truth is what Matt Hamilton says here. The XRP ledger was the first blockchain to feature issued assets, IOUs, tokens, stable coins, and feature a DEX. Since 2012, the XRP ledger was the OG DeFi application before DeFi existed. Peer-to-peer credit, loans, etc. This is what the Joseph Lubins of the world, this is the reason it was done this way. Folks, this is the reason it was done. XRP and what Ripple was doing represented a threat. This was done intentional, and it's very obvious. And we've got the video. We have the timeline. We're not letting it go. I'm a dog with a bone. The XRP, whatever you want to call it, community, army, whatever, is a dog with a bone. There's thousands of us that know what went on, and we're not letting go of it until we get our level playing field. If some of these people end up getting in trouble over this, so be it. A lot of them deserve it. I don't want that for anybody, even though a lot of them deserve it. But trust you me, this stinks to high heaven. It always has. And that's the reason John Deaton wants subpoena power. If he gets that, that's the worst nightmare of the people involved in this story, because they know that we know now. They know. That's why they don't want to show Bill Hinman's calendar or the 63 emails, or that's why they want to redact everything out of these documents, because it'll show what actually went on. And they know that we're literally right over it. And we know. Now it's just a matter of how long can they hide what they know we know's there. That's the question. I'm a digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that the Ethereum free pass stinks to high heaven. And